I think Mansa got that
Mansa?
job to evaluate Nagesh sir. Mansa, are you there?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So you will be the evaluator for Nagesh sir. Okay. Thank you.
Let me confess, this is not a prepared speech. I'm not prepared. But let me ask you one thing. How many of you have prepared something or the other in front of a stove? Let me see the raise of hands. And how many of you have prepared something, again the same thing in front of the stove? I'm sure you would have found the difference between the first time and the next time. Let me separate these two and give a little more of explanation around it. What is common between my industry of construction, a hospital, a college, an educational institute, let's say, an aerospace industry, ISRO, defense, IT, and many other industries we have in this country? Other than the people, what are the two things that is common across all these industries? Can I see your answers on the chat? Don't tell me that there are a lot of people who work in these organizations. Other than that, what is common among these organizations? I see there's something called as planning there. Anybody else? Any thoughts? Vision, hard work. Okay, in the interest of time, let's move on. The two things that all these organizations have is the process, and the second one is the project. Now, a lot of people confuse between project and process. Let me help you understand these two things separately. Now, when you stood in front of the stove and prepared something for yourself or for others, the first time, that was the project for you. You had not done this earlier. The first time you did it, it was called as the project. Because the project is something which is very, very unique. It is unique is what it is known as in business and professional circles. Project is unique. It's never been done earlier. Let's say somebody is trying to manufacture this pencil for the first time. This kind of a pencil for the first time, it's a project. And when you do it over and over again, manufacture this, it becomes a process. The first time you stood in front of the stove and prepared something, that was a project for you because you had never done that earlier. And you got into doing it multiple times, you maybe mastered it, it fell into the process. The first car of a particular make is a project. Once that is successful and the subsequent cars that is manufactured is the process. You might have also heard and listened many film stars or people from film fraternity talking about, I am working with a project with Sanjay Leela Bhansali, or I am working with a project with Ranveer Singh. I'm busy in a project. See, the word project has become so very common and synonymous in all industries that those who are not talking about it are also talking about it. It has become a, 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 a word which is in the finances, in the film fraternity, in art and artists and drama. Many industries have now started embracing what is called as project and its principles, process and its principles. Now you may ask, I have built one house. If I build a similar house next to it with the same blueprint, that one will be a project or a process? I'm sure this question will be coming in your mind. I would say it is a project again, because that blueprint is only one input to do a particular task. However, the environment changes. The people who are doing the next work are going to change. The ingredients change. The situation change. What we call it as stakeholders change. Resources change. So when there is changes in these inputs, then it is a project. Let's take, for example, your first time you prepared was Opito, and then you continued doing Opito. First time was a project. You mastered it, you continued doing it, became a process. Now you change the ingredient. Let's say instead of stove, you use a charcoal burner. You don't know the outcome. You are doing it for the first time. The key ingredient is changed. When the outcome is unknown, inputs are different. It's a project. One important thing I would want to leave you all with is, I will again take an example of preparing any dish. You all have eaten a lot of dishes which has salt in it. And those of you who have stood in front of the stove and done a dish, prepared a dish, or have at least overseen how it is done, would know that salt as an ingredient is so unique and important in any dish, which can make or break a dish. But at the point of time when it is added to the dish are different for different dishes. For some, it is added in the beginning. For some, it's added in the middle. For some, it is added at the end. Similarly, it is in our lives. When we want to put an ingredient into our lives for it to be better and very wonderful, that ingredient has to come at the right point of time for our lives to be very wonderful and fantastic. Back to you.
Wow, sir. As a student of